Hi, Nathan.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going very well. You are a composer for Deadly Class.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Right. Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about your process of how you approach composing? Did you look at research materials? What did you do to prepare for that?
Yeah, I think specifically for Deadly Class, we had a little bit of time from when the pilot was picked up to series to actually working on the series. So I grabbed all of the comic books that were available, and I think that was a really great way to dive into Rick Remender's world, because he was not only the creator of the comic but also a showrunner. And so I think to see his writing before it hit screen, to see the artwork as well that Wes Craig made, it just informed me in a different way than any other project where normally I just begin once they've shot it. It was awesome to start before that.
And was there any surprises as you looked at the source material to then what you saw on the screen?
Well, I think it was exciting the way that the story changed a little bit here and there from the comics. Like, what's cool is that for the most part it stays very true to it. So there weren't any surprises, but it's always just cool to see, like, oh yeah, this is a little bit different here. It's like, oh, I think this is better here, you know? So it's always cool seeing those moments.
Oh, excellent. And you've worked in actually a lot of different types of genre. How do you find that there are different ways that you approach different genres?
Yeah, that's a good question. This was exciting because I feel like Deadly Class is one of my more personal scores, where it's like very close to what I want to do as a musician and as a composer. I think every genre has its own challenges. Like, I've done a lot of comedy, and I feel like comedy, there are a lot of like technical, challenges in that, in getting that right. It's so hard to make a moment funny for some reason, But I think just as a composer, it's exciting to go between different genres and be challenged in different ways.
And do you find that there are like common cues that kind of translate from one genre to another in your approach?
Yeah, I mean, I think I found, at least in the stories that I've worked on, being, for me, like approaching it and being as close to the characters as possible and as authentic as possible to the characters has always worked. So. And
do you have a dream project, Nathan? What is it, and what would you do?
A dream project. I have always loved the James Bond series. So it'd be like, I think there are going to be some exciting things happening with James Bond. Like, who's going to be the next James Bond? I would love to do something like that. Deadly Class, to be honest, was sort of a dream project in the tone and the story and the producers I got to work with. It was an incredible honor. So I'm just grateful.
And what kind of musical knowledge do you bring? I mean, do you think about, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I guess I'm just kind of like, when you're looking at the various projects that you work on, is there certain aspects that you'd like to bring in that's definitively you?
Yeah, right now I'm like exploring traditional Filipino instruments, and I think it's exciting to bring in. I'd love to somehow integrate that into like my scoring and modern scoring, and not make it sound like East or like anything that's like foreign. Like, what if there's a way to bring in those sounds and have it just be part of the storytelling process? That's something that I'm excited about exploring.
Oh, I'm excited too. I think that would be very interesting. And can you tell me, how did you become a composer? Can you tell me briefly how you got to that point?
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, like my mother's side of the family, everyone was a musician. So I grew up around a lot of music, and I just couldn't shake that, And so when my friends began making films and they needed music, they invited me to come on, and so it was just sort of a natural progression in that way. As much as I tried not to be a musician, So
I think it was in the genes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't escape it.
Well, how can people show their appreciation of what you do in your various projects? Do you have social media that they can follow you on and support you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Nathan M. David. You can search for that. That's about it. I used to be on MySpace, but not anymore. But yeah, I think just continue to watch the shows and support the shows and support all the creatives, on the shows that we work on. That's the best way to show support.
Well, thank you very much, Nathan. Really appreciate it.
Nice chatting with you guys.